Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today, it feels like we're stepping right into an episode of Black Mirror, you know? Big Brother isn't just a fictional warning anymore.
It's more like he's moved in.
Or-
Subtle, though.
Right. Our source today lays out how technology, AI especially, is reshaping how we think about privacy. And honestly, I bet most people aren't even aware it's happening.
The scary part is, it's often framed as a good thing. This new Big Brother isn't some creepy dude watching security footage. It's like disguised as convenience.
Yeah, our source called it this subtle exchange economy, which is a little creepy when you think about it, right? Like we're
Yeah.
happily trading away pieces of ourselves just for the latest app or, I don't know, a smart toaster.
And we are constantly. Every click, every Google search leaves this trail of data. It's all getting scooped up and, well, analyzed, is putting it mildly.
That's where AI comes in. They're making these crazy detailed profiles on all of us.
Yeah. These algorithms are designed to find patterns in, well, huge amounts of data, including all that data we're generating just by living our lives online.
So it's like even more revealing than our real shadows, right?
So that's a really good way to put it. Think
Yeah.
about it. What you buy online can tell them what your politics are, probably more accurately than asking you directly. Social media, even if you're super careful, can give hints about your mental health. And all that, even if you never actually say any of it.
That's kind of creepy, right? Giving away these little pieces of ourselves without even realizing, just so we get a personalized news feed or whatever.
That's the trade-off, and I don't think we're always making it consciously. Now, the source does say AI can do amazing things, healthcare, education, all that. But there's always another side. And when it comes to tech this powerful, we need to be really careful, especially with how little transparency there is.
It's like we've been handed the keys to this awesome sports car, AI, but we're just now figuring out if the brakes even work.
Exactly. So that's why this source is all about the ethics of it all. How do we make sure AI is used responsibly?
Yeah.
Especially when you think about all the data that's feeding it.
This whole subtle exchange thing,
Hmm.
it feels kind of sneaky, don't you think?
Yeah.
Like, when was the last time you actually read a terms of service agreement before clicking I accept? Our
Really?
source is all about demanding more transparency from these tech companies.
Oh, absolutely. We need to move past this just click and go mentality. It's time to start asking some serious questions. How are our favorite companies profiting off our data? How do these algorithms even work? It's about understanding the rules of the game we're all playing, whether we realize it or not.
And that's where we come in, right? Like, as users, we have a say in how all this tech gets developed, how it gets used.
We can't just be passive, not anymore. This digital revolution, we're all in it, so we got to be informed enough to demand better. The source has some great tips on how to do just that, which we'll dig into right after this.
So where do we even start? It feels kind of overwhelming, all this talk about algorithms and data and, our digital lives.
It can be a lot, yeah. But honestly, the more we understand it, the less scary it becomes.
Knowledge is power, right?
Right. And our source definitely gives us some tools, which I appreciate. Like one of the first things they emphasize is this idea of digital literacy.
Which, okay, sounds kind of jargony, but it's really just about understanding the basics. Like, what even is an algorithm? Think of it like a recipe. You've
Right.
got your ingredients, which is the data, and then the algorithm is the set of instructions for how to use them.
And then the final product is what? Like a targeted ad?
Yeah.
Or is it bigger than that?
It can be a lot of things. Product recommendations, even predictions about what you'll do next.
Okay, so the more data we feed into this recipe, the better the AI gets at, like, figuring us out.
Exactly. And that's why it's important to get how this stuff learns. It's not magic, it's math. Our location, what we do online, even offline stuff, it's all fuel for the algorithm. And right now, a lot of those predictions, they're used to keep us hooked, right? Scrolling, clicking on ads. The source even called it surveillance capitalism, which sounds kind of intense.
It is intense. Our attention, our data, it's become a product.
Like, we're at the casino, but the house always wins.
That's a good way to put it. And the more we play, the less control we have, right? That's why the source wants us to be more conscious about the tech we use. It's not about swearing off the internet, but it is about asking questions. What data am I giving away? How are they using it? What are the consequences?
Like being a picky eater, but for our digital lives.
Exactly. And this isn't just about what we do as individuals. We need better rules of the road. Like the source talks about the EU's GDPR law, giving people more control over their information.
Those kinds of regulations, those seem like a good step, don't they?
For sure. But it's tricky because technology moves so fast, right?
Yeah.
We need rules that can keep up, and we got to be ready to fight for them.
So it's a two-pronged thing. taking control of our own data, but also pushing for bigger changes.
Exactly. Demand transparency from these companies. Support organizations that are fighting the good fight for data privacy.
Love it. So we're not just passive bystanders, we're active participants in shaping how this all plays out. Now, the source doesn't just dwell on the problems, they actually talk about potential solutions too, which is refreshing. One of the most interesting ones was this idea of data cooperatives.
Data cooperatives are cool. It's like, imagine if you had control over your data and could actually get paid for sharing it. Not tricked into it, but actual informed consent.
So instead of our data being used against us, it could actually benefit us directly.
Right. Data cooperatives are all about giving individuals ownership over their information.
That is a really cool vision. And it seems connected to another thing the source emphasized, which was supporting ethical companies, the ones who are trying to do things differently.
100%. Imagine if we weren't just consumers of technology, but we were actually part of shaping it,
Hmm.
demanding transparency, accountability, you know.
Moving from a culture of surveillance to a culture of respect, right?
Yeah.
Respect for privacy, our choices, all of it.
That's such a good way to put it. Technology should serve us, not the other way around.
This idea of like flipping the script on data ownership, it's kind of mind-blowing when you really think about it.
Right. It shows how people are starting to realize, hey, my data has real value. It's not just about avoiding those creepy ads. It's about, like, using this stuff for good.
And our source really digs into that, the idea of our data empowering us, not being used against us. Are there any examples of that happening right now, like in the real world?
Oh, totally. Healthcare is a big one. Imagine if you had control over your medical data and you could choose to share it with researchers looking for cures. That could be huge. And then there's this whole wave of privacy-focused tech, like social media that doesn't want your grandma's birthday to target you with ads, or messaging apps that are actually, like, secure.
So it's like we're not stuck with the way things are. There's hope for a better internet.
Yeah. And it's not just a pipe dream. This is happening because people are demanding better, pushing for change.
So how can our listeners join the movement? What can they actually do to make a difference?
It always starts with education,
Right.
right? Learn about your digital footprint, see where your data is going. There are tons of resources out there, and the source even links to a bunch.
Okay, so once we're more aware, what then? Like practical steps.
Dive into those privacy settings on your phone, your apps, all of it. Seriously, you'll probably be surprised what you find. Be mindful of what you're posting online and check out some of those privacy-focused browsers and search engines. Oh, and for the love of all that is digital, don't just click I accept without at least glancing at what you're agreeing to.
So it's about being more intentional, right?
Yeah.
Like bringing that same awareness we try to have in our offline lives, bringing that online.
100%. And don't underestimate the power of your voice. Support the companies that align with your values and call out the ones that don't. Talk to your friends, your family, get people thinking about this stuff.
It's about taking back control, making sure technology is a tool for good in our lives, not the other way around.
That's what it's all about.
Well, this whole conversation has been eye-opening, to say the least. We went from Big Brother freaking us out to, feeling like we can actually do something about it.
The more you learn, the more you realize there's always more to learn.
Yeah.
But that's the exciting part, right? We're all figuring this out together.
Exactly. So to everyone listening, stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged. Because in a world run by algorithms, our choices still matter.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
That's a wrap on another deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring.